1, 0.
You are listening to Moneyality with Tanya Collins, the Miss
3,
Moneyologist.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here on this night. It is Moneyality Mondays, and I am coming on later than normal because I just experienced a really amazing night. I just got back in from the 100 Black Fathers March that is in Memphis, Tennessee, and they had Dr. Umar Johnson as the speaker. And it was just really an amazing night. It was a great speech from him. I did take a picture with him, but I did not have time to upload it. But it was really great. And he talked about a lot of things that deal with the economical situations that African Americans are in, or just Black people, if we just want to be called Black people. And so it was really great. And it also got me in the mood to understanding that we are definitely having to think about how we handle our finances. And that's what Moneyality is. I am Tanya Collins, the Miss Moneyologist. And Moneyality is a course that I am developing, but this podcast is part of that, where I want people to understand how they think and feel about money so that they make better choices. And there is nothing better to do that than with your Moneyality types. So before we get started, I am going to do some advertisements and some sponsors. So the first one is Some Kind of Way Solutions. Financial focus equals cultural connections, equal life lessons, and that is a nonprofit. And their number is 901 220 5704. And if you're interested in partnering with Some Kind of Way Solutions, they are going to be one of the lead nonprofits that's going to offer Moneyality as a course. So if you want to partner with Some Kind of Way Solutions to understand how you can work together to get this personal finance course, then definitely call 901 220 5704 and ask for me, Tanya Collins, and I will gladly kind of put us in a situation where we can have a really great discussion about partnership. So that's the first one. And the second one is Joy Media Group. Joy was down doing media shots tonight. So she and I were down there together, and it was really cool. So if you're interested in Joy Media Group, she does videoing. She will come and help you learn how to edit your things. And she also does business coaching around how to get your business started, and then just kind of grabbing all of that together to form Joy Media Group. So if you're interested in Joy Media Group, joymediagroup.net, 901 618 9501. And the next guy that is our sponsor every week is Nick Venti Design, which is the one-stop shop for everything digital. And the number is 662-902-9737. And Nick's is nickventi.com. So those are three amazing sponsors that I love to share my platform with, and I would just ask that you patronize them as needed. So we're gonna get started. We are doing the, let me bring it on. We are doing the Moneyality, the ACE of personal finance: activate, circulate, and elevate. Those are the three things that make up the ACE. And Moneyality tonight is focusing on the five Moneyality types. And like I said, every week we have been discussing each one of them individually. Tonight is going to be the Mingler. To care or not to care is not a money option. So that is our title for tonight. but I'm also going to go through them just to give you an overview of what they are about. So the first ones are, I'm sorry, let me take some things away, and that should give us, yeah, budget coverage. So the first thing is the five moneyality or money personality types. There is a splurger, which is the extreme circulator, the keeper, which equals the serious saving circulator. The tracker is the planning circulator. And the adventurer is the risky, thrill seeking circulator. And the mingler that we're going to discuss tonight is the carefree, socializing circulator. Sorry for that tonight. And they are all circulators because in Moneyality, we do not use the word spend. We circulate our money, and that kind of empowers us to understand how money moves within communities and how money is distributed throughout communities and throughout the government and all these ways of how we can help with circulation. So I'm going to briefly go through each one of them. The keeper equals serious saving circulator. You could go back and check out the video that I did on them. The keepers are, they love to save money. It gets a huge thrill out of getting a good deal. And they have really strong ideas about wanting to make sure that they save for just having it to see. They like the enjoyment, the pure enjoyment of having money at their fingertips. So those are the serious saving circulators. They are always looking for a good bargain. And the next one is the splurger, the extreme circulator. It's no surprise that, a splurger is all about the enjoyment that comes with circulating their money. So it doesn't matter if the splurger is circulating on yourself, or on themselves, or on you. It still is a big plus for them to be able to circulate. And that is strategies that we're going to learn on how to manage that. And the next one is the tracker. Let's go back. The tracker is a security planning circulator, and I like them. Trackers are always looking ahead and thinking about the plan for the future. They love job security, and they have a strong sense for planning, and that gives them the security they need as they move forward and go into the future about how they manage their money. So they are the security planning circulators. And the next one we're doing a quick overview is the adventurer, which is the risky, thrill-seeking circulator. They are the risk takers. They are the entrepreneurs. They are the visionaries. They are me. I love the idea that I am an adventurer. That is my secondary moneyality type, and my first one is a keeper. And so they are likely to end up billionaires, or they are likely to end up bankrupt. And we're always pushing for them to be able to find a balance because they love a new deal. They just really like taking chances, and those are really great qualities to have because sometimes we need to have that ability to be adventurous, to be able to push ourselves, to take chances on new things. And Dr. Umar Johnson kind of spoke of that tonight when I was at the what I just say when I was at the event where he spoke with the 100 Black Fathers March. So that was held in Memphis. All right, and the Minglers, what we're talking about tonight, they are the carefree, socializing circulators. And what I will say about them is that the Mingler, the Mingler is the most unusual of the moneyality types of all. But why? That's because they are the ones that are so carefree that they really do not even want an attachment to money. These are the people that are strictly interested in bonding and having really strong relationships. And that is an amazing attribute to have. But they also have to be reeled in to know that they also need to be able to understand how money works and that it's a tool in their lives. They rarely talk about money, think about money, or care about money. And that's where I come in as the Miss Moneyologist, is to get them on a mindset, as we're going to discuss tonight, where they see some importance of understanding how money works for them. So those are the five moneyality types, and we're going to definitely be, like I said, we're studying the Mingler. And so this is always a great quote I found out about the Mingler. The Mingler, I told you, equals the carefree socializing circulator. And he who loses money loses much. He who loses a friend loses much more. He who loses faith loses all. And that's by Eleanor Roosevelt. And I felt that was really in tune with the Mingler. And let me tell you why. The Mingler doesn't even realize that in their mind, they're not losing money. They are not interested in money. And so their big thing is to take any resources of finances that they have and to be able to spread them and to give to someone who may need them or may be in less fortunate situations than them. And those are amazing qualities because a lot of us grew up in times where they say it's better to give than receive. And that is nice, no doubt, but it's not logical when it comes to our finances. When we're dealing with our finances, we have to remember we only want to give the overflow. And so, one of the things that people may not remember, especially the new generation, is that we used to use cups and they had saucers under them. And that was a little round plate that you would place the cup on to be able to balance it and to be able to drink and then put it down on the saucer. Just very tea party-ish type things, which was really cool. What makes that a unique characteristic and a unique way to think about this is when you have that cup and that teacup and you're pouring in it and you're pouring in it, you need to pour enough tea in it where the overflow of tea is what you're able to give. And that isn't a bad thing. And it's not a thing that we should feel like, oh, we should just give our last. And I'm going to talk a little more about that, but it's definitely in times where we need to be more mindful of how we are circulating as a mingler. So, with that being said, I am going to now kind of deep dive more into what it takes to be a mingler. And the first thing I want to talk about are the students. And when you are working with students and adults about the importance of what causes their budget, what causes them, what's important of their causes and budgets for social change and saving the world, you need to be able to let them know that those they do have great causes. I mean, that's part of a financial journey. You want to be able to invest in people and you want to be able to be good givers. So being able to understand their budget and the social change and saving the world mindset, it is important, but those are the things that I strategize with and making them reality checks for minglers is that you have to be able to also use that money as a tool to make your life comfortable, and that it's okay to be comfortable, because if you are just, as I said, giving more out of your cup more than the overflow, then you are leaving yourself in a position of not being able to take care of yourself, always kind of depending on others, or even to a point where you just are thinking it's okay to just be without. And that may not always be the case. Sometimes the case is you don't understand the strategies that it takes. And that is what I am here for. So relationship builders, they love that. That is what minglers are. They are relationship builders. When I say relationship builders, their focus is on making the best of their relationships. They are the social butterfly people, but they love understanding relationships and building that relationship and trust with their friends and with their family. They are the ones that like to bring people together. They are very compassionate about also using their knowledge or whatever assets they have to better improve the world, even if that's giving to causes or charitable organizations. And the other thing about them, though, if you're talking about a Mingler, they are distracted from anything. I mean, if a friend calls them and say, "Hey, we're meeting at Happy Mexican for drinks," they are headed out the door. They're not going to check their wallet and see if I can have enough finance to cover this. They are just going to pack up and they're going to be excited to meet you there. They are distracted as children. When you have a child that's a mingler, when you give them chores to do, they will start these chores. But again, don't let one of their little friends call them and say, "Hey, we're at Susan's house and we're about to have game night. Can you come over?" Oh yes, they're gonna forget about their responsibilities as doing their chores, and they're gonna just want to jump in and say that they need to be there. They need to be there for that game night, and they find that to be their most important thing, that those chores are not relevant to them. And those are some of the things that I am going to pull them in, to kind of reel them in on that. That's got to be a balance in some of that. And when I tell you all about balance, I do not mean a 50-50 balance. I do want that to be understood. Balances are being able to have the five moneyality types, and then being able to distinguish how they make you feel and how you can contribute all things to them by using the moneyality circulation formula. I will always be talking more about that, but that is part of how I started understanding saving money and being able to give, is that I used a circulation formula, and I have used this formula since I was, wow, probably the 5-year-old who started, but definitely I remember it in high school, and I sure had a foolproof circulation formula in college. So those are important things that you're going to have to definitely teach them. And the next things we're going to be talking about is that minglers are loyal friends and supporters. And I have Anthony's story there because I want to share a story about a really close friend of mine. We were actually born a day apart. I am May 4th, he was May 5th. And he has since gone on and passed away, and he is missed probably by so many. But the story I want to tell you is that Anthony was the kind of guy that he would say, "If I have it, you got it," right? And so I have always been so fascinated and loving that, because that takes a special kind of loyalty and support of a friend to just say, like, whatever money I have, you got it. Like, whatever I have, like 50, if I got 50 cents, you got a quarter. And I remember that he was that guy. And he was that guy that, as a mingler, he wasn't ever worried about how he was going to get things replenished. I just remember him always having a great mindset, a great personality about, building character and friendships. And he had such a great understanding of the loyalty and how to be great supporters. And at his funeral, there were so many people that talked about how he was there for them and he would give them his last dollar. And those were always qualities that I loved about him. Those were qualities that I learned to put into my life, because Anthony would have been a mingler based on some of the characteristics that he showed. And so that was always a very touching story for me. And to be able to have lived it with him was even more fascinating. So Anthony being able to say if I got it, you got it. That was a Mingler's mindset, and that is well to be respected. And there are also definitely, I guess, the pros and cons of everything. But I really love that story about Anthony. And every year I miss him and I being able to share that 24-hour difference in our birthdays. And yeah, it's just still a lot. It's still kind of emotional even today. But I'm glad I was able to share his story. He was an amazing person. And so that is what being a loyal friend and supporter is. So minglers have to be reminded to cash their checks, use their gift cards, and manage their money. Now, you have to know that as a parent, when you see your child and they get oh, I can give you a prime example. I do an after school program, and the students get paid, and they get paid with gift cards. Well, some of them forget to even use their gift cards, and they may say, oh, I have several gift cards, Miss Collins, or I'm saving my gift cards, or some of them are just like really not thinking about them, like it's not a priority to them. And so the ones that it's not a priority to are more the minglers. Sometimes you don't have access to go spend, oops, oops, I'm sorry, sometimes you don't have opportunities to go circulate, so you have to kind of save them. But with the mingler, parents, you're going to have to definitely remind them. And I'm going to be discussing other factors about them that's also very important. So, also, parents, look at this as a bonding exercise when you're talking to your mingler, because it's a relationship to them. And if their parents are talking to them about finances, about saving, investing, or anything, for you to really get their attention, do it with them in a form of a bonding of a relationship. To sit down with them, or even have them going with you into a bank and saying, oh, come go with me and make, I just want your company and things like that. They're going to love that. But they're also going to be able to see what you're doing in the bank. Or you can even say, this is what I'm doing with my bank, and this is how it works. And so they're realizing they're in the bank, they're with their parent, and they're having this great conversation. They're related to them, that's relating to them because they're in a great relationship with them. So minglers definitely need to have a great relationship with their parents, or their uncles and aunts, or their teachers, when you're trying to instill in them the practice of being able to manage money. You got to allow them to make it feel of the relationship more so than the stress of the amount that you got to save or whatever. And as I talked about with all five, this is the final one tonight. I've talked with all five. How we talk to our students is vital. That is the most important thing. It's like the priority, because with anything, you have to be very mindful of how you are interacting with someone with their finances. And sometimes we hold on to so many stigmas that children don't need to know about money or whatever. And so much of where we are with that now is that a mingler child may not know or care about money, but they need to have an understanding of how it works. And another thing that helps them is when they are on track with some of the things that you share with them, always praise them for their efforts, even if it's a small thing that they say, oh, I am using my gift card today. That is like, wow, that's a great thing. Even if they're using it to purchase something for their friend, that is okay. And then those are the times that you say, wow, well, how much is your gift card? Is it $50? Well, how much is the gift? And that helps them to understand how much they want to purchase something for and how they may want to just interact. Mingler children may seem irresponsible, and that is a key for a lot of the moneyality types if you're looking at them from your moneyality type. So I say that because with me as a keeper, a person who saves just excessively, I'm like a fanatic in saving. I would look at a mingler as they're irresponsible. But now that I know better, I speak better, I practice better to let them, to allow myself to even know that how they respond to money is up to how I interact with them about that money. And so with parents and children, uncles and aunts, like understanding moneyality is such an amazing process that I love it so much that it's just, I just be full of joy to share this information with you. So with this Mingler child, though it may seem irresponsible, it is only because they have no attachment to that money or to those gift cards or whatever. But when you put them in a situation where those gift cards are to build relationships by buying presents or being able to put that money aside to take a trip with your friends, they'll understand that a lot more. So that's a key for them. And also, as teenagers, parents need to teach the basics to the mingler. So when I was just telling you about they don't really have concepts of money because they don't think about it, they don't care about it. They have just been like, oh, it's no big deal. And that can even be from a child that has been born into wealth or a child that has been born into lower economic standards. A child that just doesn't care about money maybe are the children that you see that love animals, or they are constantly doing things for social change. So they have to be taught the basics of just saying, hey, this is what an account looks like. This is where we're going to start you. And do not be frustrated with them. Just understand that that's their moneyality type. It's not to be taken as that they're just being irresponsible or they're being lazy. They really do not know, and they have to be steered in the right direction. Where for me as a keeper, my mom did not have to tell me, you need to be saving, you need to be whatever. I already had mastered that. So those are definitely some differences. And I'm going to try to get us through this. Parents of minglers like adventurers, which we talked about last year, need to assist them with their money matters so that they are not taken advantage of, because the mingler can be with their friends and they're always purchasing for them. If someone don't have their half or their money, the mingler, again, they don't care about money, so they're gonna just say, oh, I'll cover it. So parents are gonna have to be responsible, and you have to then have your mingler understand, like when they are socializing, they have to be like really put into the idea that they are so interactive. They love hanging out. They are going to be at the functions first. They are the people that are there. They are the social butterflies. They may just be there to protest, or they're there to improve something, or they're just to be in the group of friends. They are definitely a cool group of people to hang out with. So those are great characteristics about the mingler. But parents also need to make sure that being responsible is not so. One of the key things to help a mingler is to have them, before they make purchases, before they consider making any purchases or giving something away, that they need to run it by you, and that you have to instill in them that when they come to you, they need to tell you for their high school functions or for any activities, they need to come to you and say, hey, make them be responsible for getting the numbers. How much does it cost for you to be a cheerleader? I need to know the numbers. They'll say they want to be one just because Susan is one. They are great and they can exercise, they can do the flips, but they have no clue of the expenses that go with that. So you have to put that responsibility on them to make sure that they understand the cost, that they come back to you and say, hey, mother, father, it's $200. for that cheerleader outfit and this and that. And then once they understand that and you are able to discuss it with them, do not allow them to just haphazardly just say, yeah, I'm going to be there, and you sponsor those things. They are definitely going to need to run those by you. Pretty much, I would say all the Moneyality types when you're dealing with children, but definitely the Minglers. All right. So parents, these steps are not happening overnight. You're going to have to always be patient and understand that our money personality types, it's a process, and that we have to be very mindful in doing these processes. And remember that you have your own moneyality type. And so if your moneyality type is not like your child's, or not like your husband's or your boyfriend's or your girlfriend's or whomever, that's okay. But those are things that you have to talk about, and those are things that you have to seek me for, so I can help you understand why you feel the way you feel about your interactions with money, and how you mingle and manage to be with those other people, so that there is a cohesive group, a great understanding of how you're going to move forward in handling your money. All right, so we're wrapping it up by saying, you just have to enjoy life. However, for any of them, the mingler, the keeper, the tracker, the splurger, the adventurer, you're going to have to set boundaries, parents. You're going to have to be able to really tap into how you feel and think about money by just, taking the Moneyality assessment for adults that I offer. So do those things, because I have been a teacher for years, and I've taught personal finance, and I've tried to expose children to as many different ideas about how they interact with money, how they deal with banks. But I realized that before I could really push that in front of them, I need them to understand who they are. Like, why do you feel and think the way you do about money? What is your moneyality type? What is your what is your money personality? Those are the key factors. And as we're wrapping it up, realize money is needed to invest in your life. So whether you are any of those moneyality types, to move your life forward, even in the basics of things, you do need to have a minimal understanding of how finances work. How does your personal finances work? How do you want to use them going forward in your life? So those have been the 5 moneyality types. Tonight was the mingler. To care or not to care is not an option with money. That's not a money option. So thank you. And again, it has been an amazing night, being able to go out and hear Dr. Umar Johnson, to be out there to support Black fathers in their flight to be able to be better in positions to be great fathers. I thought that was great. That's all happened in Memphis, Tennessee tonight. And I want to say thank you. I love doing what I do, and feel free at any time to just look at the ticker and reach out to me via email, any of my social media platforms. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I hope that I am bringing a blessing in your life by being able to allow you to understand that there are lots of ways to deal with money, but the first and foremost is to understand how you think, how you feel about money. And so my new thing of ending is that Moneyality, we activate, we circulate, and we elevate our money. So thank you for being a listener. I look forward to talking to you next Monday, Moneyality Monday. Peace. We're out.